Maybe.
Save the rat. Full screen.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
We're not qualified.
Explorers in the further regions of experience.
Did you not listen?
Then the hell with you.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 184th episode of Screaming Into the Void, the show where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like and also have like unmitigated sonic disasters. My name's
He's
Sam.
under fire.
Right? And joining us today, I will get to my regulars here in just a moment, but we had a surprise. Somebody wanted to jump on today because he could. Shadow of Hawk is with us today. This is what I get for glazing you for like the last fucking week, kid.
Yeah. Howdy. And fortunately, because I'm done with the first third of the next like year of my life, I actually should be able to show up semi-regularly now because I'll have my weekends completely open going forward. So
you know you're gonna have to watch what you say now, though, right?
Yep, I'm aware. I was the one telling some guys, hey, remember that piece of paper we signed? You probably shouldn't be talking like that. So
Oh, are you grammar Nazi it over there, bro? I'm so proud of you. Our little Nazis brought up the language.
Our little overdue.
No, I'm not stealing Gal's job. I'm not stealing Gal's job.
Our wonderful hall monitor.
I'm just informing my fellows that, hey, you should probably self-censor now so that you're doing it later when you're out in general public. And then they were also doing the same to me because the stuff they would say were jokes. And the stuff I would say just scares people for some reason. I don't know.
Just because it's not jokes, motherfucker. What do you think? That's the problem. They're just telling jokes. I'm being serious and making people nervous. What the fuck, dude?
Oh man!
Oh my god!
You know he's going to come back to us
his brain cells.
He's coming back to us with much thicker skin, I imagine.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. I'll be able to throw real barbs.
Actually, the really funny thing is, y'all were worse. Like, don't get me wrong. Like the staff and the camp counselors and the staff and all like that. They were bad, but like in regards to my peers, y'all were worse.
We love you. You see, like we take pride in our ability to get a.
No, they tried. They tried. They were just not as creative.
That. Fuck those guys.
What did
they were just not as creative.
We were preparing you for the adventure ahead.
This was your pre-training.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got this image of Shadow petting the guy going, it's okay. I have really rough friends. It's all right. You don't have to be able to break me. I mean, you know, they've already done it.
And he looks over at him and he says, "You ever trying to gay stuff?"
Damn it.
They were also, despite the circumstances offering the opportunity for them to be way gayer than y'all were still more gay considerably.
You're welcome. You're very welcome, sir.
Like
Makes
50
sense.
50 dudes, one head, one rain room that fits like 10 guys. Y'all were gayer than that.
See, where you went wrong is you didn't take any baby oil in there with you. One bottle of baby oil would have changed that entire thing.
Some of them did.
All right.
But they were awkward nights.
Some of those motherfuckers did.
Look.
Not as awkward as it is without the baby oil.
You don't want to be going in dry. That's just asking for chafing and fucking blisters and shit.
Yeah.
right?
Unless you're into that kind of thing, I guess.
And then your butthole itches for a week, and nobody wants that.
Right.
That's why I
Anywho.
spent like $600 on boots. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, boots,
Anywho.
that'll help.
Welcome in and welcome back. We also have joining us today Caucasian Sasquatch, who's over
Yeah,
here.
I'm here. I'm doing something. I don't know. It's happening.
And we've got Abe's.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up? What's up? We may have others join us as we go along. We may not. We'll see what happens. Welcome in, everybody. We are live currently on Twix, Rumble, and 2 separate YouTube channels, Caucasian Sasquatch and Sammy the Infamous. If you're in any of those places, drop a comment. Let us know you're here. All the usual, yada, yada. Like, subscribe, share it out, do the things.
I know I heard that wrong, bro.
Yeah,
Did you just say you trusted women to, like, show up on time?
Huh? No, I didn't say anything of the kind.
Oh, good.
You definitely heard that wrong. All right, so let's get into it.
I just realized that I'm not allowed to join in those kinds of jokes anymore.
I'm done. So every shot at you, right? Wait, can you get demoted yet?
For like a week I could have.
All right, so
And
we're
then
gonna
now I
save all
can't.
of them. We're gonna save all of them until you attain higher rank, and then we're gonna reveal all the old memes. Get you busted back down. It's gonna be great.
Right.
No,
All
I'll-
right, so hold up. Let me get through the chat
Yeah,
here real quick.
that's why I shut up. That's why I shut up.
All right. We got Old Blindy in the chat. Hello, howdy. Good to see you. We have Le Pot de Fleur. We have Hurricane Paro.
Pero, what's up, bud?
Pero. Is it Pero? I don't know.
Yeah,
My head
pretty
immediately went to the Spanish pronunciation. Welcome in. We've got Cavitano J. Welcome in. Good to see you, brother. Haven't seen you in a minute. We have Darlene McGee.
Welcome in, darling. Good to see you, man.
Fantastic. Welcome in. We've got Jason Godet. Is that Godet?
What's up, Jason? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, it's good day.
All right. Welcome in.
Although I'm from Georgia and I call him Goodet.
Right. We got JB with us in the chat. All right. And like I said earlier, welcome in. If you're watching in all the places or any of the places or whatever, drop a comment. Let us know you're here. We do our best to at least acknowledge the first thing you put down. And that's if that fails to happen, that's because I wasn't paying attention. It's not on you guys.
Yes, some of it's my fault too.
That too. A lot of it's his fault. He's very distracting, especially when he helicopters on camera.
Dude, look, that was one titty and only one time.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm completely absolved of missing people because I'm on the mobile version, which doesn't let me see the chat.
Good girl.
Actually, you can see the chat. You just can't see the panel at the same time on the mobile version.
Well, also the fact that you got to click a specific button for it,
And it covers the screen.
Yeah, it covers the screen, and I'm doing something where I should not be looking at my phone. So,
Good job.
Okay. Yeah, don't do that then.
yes, that's why I said I can't look at the chat.
So you can do it with one hand. It's doable.
I have this image of him standing on guard duty outside of some shack just talking to himself in the night. I'm not supposed to be looking at things.
Right. We do have some topics to get into, but like I said, Shadows joining us was a bit of a last minute surprise. And we're glad to have you. So yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good.
All right, that was succinct.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Well, I'm trying to look natural because a fucking cop is right next to me.
Oh, yeah? Well, roll down the window and ask if he wants to race.
You know, I was watching the American version of Being Human again the other day, and there's a bit where one of the characters puts in a Bluetooth, and the other character's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Trying to look like a douche?" He's like, "I'm trying not to look crazy because she's a ghost, and only he can see and hear her."
Yeah.
I firmly stand by the belief that part of the reason we're having some of the violent attacks we have is that once upon a time, if you saw someone walking down the street talking to themselves, you would cross the street to avoid them. But today, you assume they have in a Bluetooth and get stabbed in the throat.
Yeah, I don't. I don't like. I was in DC celebrating with my family. On my recent graduation. I wake up early. I go for a run. After I'm done with that, I go get some chow at a convenience store, and I sit outside on a bench, and then this just fat person comes up and just starts like talking in tongues. It's just completely fucking indecipherable. And I see their hand up. I'm assuming they were talking on the phone, but I just noped the fuck out of there because they looked erratic and they did not sound like a person. So yeah, no,
So
I don't
you,
fucking
what you're
trust that
saying is you don't like foreigners.
No, this person was clearly American. This person was clearly fucking American, just off their rocker.
That's the power of meth.
It was an urbanite American.
Urbanite American. Yeah.
Urbanite American. That's a slur, sir. I'm certain of it.
Emphasis on the night.
Can it not be?
It is a descriptor.
I'm
It's
pretty
just
sure
my
you
tongue.
just called that man black.
That woman. And you're the one assuming a race.
I mean,
You're the one assuming a race.
to be fair,
Urbanite.
just ask Lawrence Knight. Like, black women are the worst, even according to black men.
The only descriptors I described a general habitation and the fact they were fat and spoke in tongues. You're the one, and a sex, I guess. You're the one that applied a certain level of melanin count, Squatch.
No,
You're the
pretty sure
racist.
You said black initially in your
Nope.
initial statement about it. Yeah,
Nope,
reasonably
Nope,
think
I said-
he did.
I
don't
said
think he
I said
did.
a fat creature that was speaking in tongues. I didn't say anything
I
about
did-
skin color.
He didn't even say black. He said the N word.
Nope, I did not. I did not. Nope.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We've missed you, kid. So I was just saying the other day, like I was talking to Lawrence Knight, and I think this was actually live on the Abyssal Musings last night, and he said, "I'm still not calling him sir."
Yeah, no, literally. I'm laying in my friggin' hotel room, just like looking through YouTube to watch something because the amount of caffeine I'd ingested to function while driving, I wasn't falling asleep. So I hop on the YouTube and I see you, and I'm like, hey, I haven't actually been awake late enough to watch a Abyssal Musings in probably a year. Let me go see how Sam and y'all are doing. And I hop in right into you fucking glazing me, and Lawrence going, I'm not calling him sir. I literally hop in right as you're like right as you start that shit, and I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah,
Bruh.
I mean, look, I didn't say anything out of pocket. Like
No,
we
you
are
didn't.
proud of you. You know.
Yeah.
I tried to get him to. He wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I just found it funny that I haven't watched that program in a year, and the first thing I see from it is me getting glazed. That was what I found funny as shit.
And you're still slightly chubby from it, I see.
Categorically.
a little bit. Mahogany. John Carpenter's Vampires. Anybody?
Spruce,
I'll pass.
actually. Maybe a bit pine.
I prefer good old American chestnut. It's rare, it's valuable, and it's the straightest grain on the East Coast.
Fair enough.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, we got some stuff. We got some stuff to talk about today. Life is weird, and we're gonna get into it.
You're
Oh,
gonna make
man.
me look at terrible things again, aren't you?
I am gonna make you look at terrible things, but only one GT video, and obviously not the one that you showed on fucking HOT's show, the Naughty Corner, earlier this week. Even though I was planning on it.
I thought you might be. That's why I cut you off at the pass. And by the way, I ain't say but one line about that woman's chiclet teeth, and the rest of that show was them fucking cheesing on her ass in the fucking comments.
Oh, I know.
I think
I know.
the comments attracted more people than the actual show did. I got some really good numbers off of that one.
Right. Well, you
But I
would they-
also used the Goth Mommy Simulator thumbnail, so that might have had
Yeah.
something to do with it.
that has a
too.
lot to do with it because that's the whole reason I clicked on that goddamn show.
Yep, same here.
That's why we were bitching about it in there. I was like, look, if the least you could do is slap some corpse paint on AJOT, right? We'll call it
Yeah.
even.
I was like, I know this is a trap, but it's worth the risk.
Right? You know it's clickbait. You know it's clickbait.
Listen, when you know there's a trap, you spring the fucking trap.
And that's what I was counting on. Like I said, I did some really good
Yeah.
numbers on that one.
Got Aaron Laura. Howdy, Aaron. Good to see you.
So,
the other
Aaron?
mod extraordinaire. Aha. Between you and Darlene, you guys are awesome.
Really, really are.
Yeah, they are. They're fantastic. I mean, Erin was on the panel last night, and she was still fucking modding like crazy, doing all the things, posting links and shit.
I used to care that much. What happened?
I mean, yeah, she's a nicer person than you are.
Oh yeah, there's the jaded part. I got you.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yes,
Which is weird
I mean,
because she's Canadian. You'd think that'd make her a vindictive, soulless monster.
well, no, just war crimes. I mean, it's not soulless about it. They'll apologize while they're doing it.
Sir, no, that's the Quebecois.
So sorry.
I've spoken to a Quebecois recently, and he was very angry because apparently it was the Quebecois regiments that did all the war crime shit, and the Canadians take credit for
Well,
it.
of course it was. Of course it was them that did all the war crime shit.
Yeah.
They're French, but
Yeah.
they think they're
They're
better
Just
than
like
the
the real
actual
French.
French.
Yeah.
And really, they're just meaner.
I mean, to be fair, they're North American French. That gives them an inherent value greater than the regular French.
Yeah,
so
but are they
so are
better than
Cajuns.
Cajuns?
They ain't committing war crimes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're
But the thing is- no. The difference is you never find out about Cajun war crimes.
You never find out about
To us, they're just sloppy.
Go in there all covert like me. Sasquatch gets it. What's up, Devil? Welcome in.
Sub Devil.
Stop it. Get some help, bro.
Right. So, fuck, what is this first thing? I forget.
It says NASA
yeah.
wants to clean up poop on the moon.
So you remember a couple weeks ago, Sasquatch, when I was talking about how the ranch people, the Hidden Valley people, wanted to hire Americans to go over and like
Right.
fuck with the Europeans with ranch dressing, right? This is kind of like that. They're asking for help to go pick up the like 96 bags of poop that the astronauts left on the moon.
All right, so look, where's my tinfoil hat? I've already got it. I
What
figured
an
it
obscure task.
out. I cracked the code. Hold on.
Wait, why aren't they using H-1Bs for this? This kind of I can't make those fucking jokes. Fuck no.
I mean-
mean,
That's true. So here's the thing. Like, apparently they had to leave their poop on the moon on account of mass requirements for takeoff.
but here's the thing. Why would you bother going to get poop on the moon? That's a $1 billion freaking expenditure to do nothing but
That's
pick
some
up your
expensive
poop.
shit.
That's some expensive shit, bro. So here's what's really happening. Back in the mid 70s, we released something into the ocean that killed off a base form of life that everything in the life cycle is built upon, and we don't know it until recently. And the only known source of the actual life form we need to replenish the earth is in those bags of poop on the moon.
I mean, maybe, I'm just sitting
Now,
here.
if you
They're
tell me
talking
what
about.
movie I stole that plot from, you get points.
I don't know.
I honestly think it's honestly simpler than that.
They're worried about the environmental impact of like plastic bags of feces on a barren world with no atmosphere
Right.
and no like anything else.
I don't believe you.
No, that's just the excuse they're using to put people on the moon. They've got a cargo they're leaving up there. They're taking tithe, whether it's to the aliens, whether it's to the Nazis on the dark side of the moon.
I think
Whether it's to the fucking
is. I think
Transformers, I don't
it's
know.
an Iron Sky situation. I think they found something up there, and we got to go back.
Well, whatever NASA's gonna charge to go up and get the shit, Elon can do it for half.
All right, you want me to read this to you, or are we just gonna go with
do it. Do your best.
Okay.
Your best dramatic reading of this.
Okay. NASA has
flow with it.
announced a competition for the best way to dispose of 96 bags of feces left on the lunar surface by astronauts during the Apollo missions. That would be 69 and 72. These bags containing excrement, urine, and vomit were left over from 6 expeditions. That's Apollo 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 13 brought their shit home, thank God, and 17, which collectively lasted more than 3 weeks. Disposal was not possible due to mass restrictions, but the agency is now offering a $3 million prize for the best design for the safe removal of biological traces. Are we just trying to hide ourselves? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, tell me there's aliens and we need to go move our poop because they'll find us. And yeah, I got like $50. What are we gonna do about that?
I feel like personally the radio signals are a bigger giveaway unless we're in some kind of like fucking Dead Space scenario where it's the biological matter. But even then, like they'd probably find us eventually.
Right. So Lepo's asking why not drop them in space before or after landing. So like they probably do have some kind of flushing system on the lunar modules before it lands, but after it's like a whole mass requirement thing. So there's only so much mass you can have on a lander before
Observation.
It can't take off again. And so they have to leave the poop behind.
So
observation. So you're telling me you couldn't have left like 18 ounces of fucking rocks behind?
Houston probably would have been a little pissy. Like, you're bringing back something that you made inside your body as opposed to like space stuff.
I do the same fucking thing in a national park. What are you talking about, sir?
well,
I got nothing.
You leave nothing but footprints.
if there is aliens up there, we essentially left the flaming bag of shit on their door. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's on
for
us.
that.
Clean up our mess.
Now if it's the pinwheel party up there, then they deserve it.
You can't make those jokes.
I absolutely can. That is perfectly acceptable. I'm not saying anything controversial by saying the pinwheel party deserves having shit on
What's
their
up,
doorstep.
God's favorite aunt? Welcome in, brother.
There is not a single person that will give a fuck about me saying that.
Oh man, I don't know. It's the moon does have weak gravity, Andy Pickles, but it does have gravity. It's just not to any degree ours. In fact,
All
I
right,
think
so-
good enough push, you could probably just jump off the damn moon. You just wouldn't
Not quite.
get very far very fast.
So you just
No,
kick
not
your
quite.
bags of shit off the moon. You just straight punch them and
No,
let it go off.
not quite.
I mean, maybe if you spin them around real fast, they'll build up enough thrust.
can we all agree that this shit does not matter?
Shit, or
It's the least important shit. It's not even on Earth.
Well, that's why I doubt it's shit they're picking up. It says the safe removal of biological traces.
no, again, it's an excuse to go back to the moon. They're like, okay, we need a reason to sell to the American people. Well, we could say it's for like American dominance. Yeah, but that's too, no one actually gives a fuck about that anymore. We could say there's a resource up there we want. Yeah, but we can't really do anything with it. Like, we don't have the industry to do anything with it. Fuck. We need to go pick up shit for the ecosystem. That is retarded enough. They'll believe it.
I think it's even simpler
yeah.
than that. I think they don't want people to know that they don't want Elon doing this.
Maybe.
You're not only gonna be an astronaut, you're gonna be a shit kicker. That's what I would say.
Right?
For the rest of eternity, every single one of the Space Force are called shit pickers.
Yeah. Well, the excuse that they're giving is that because, like, if we want better stewardship at home, we need to be better stewards of, other worlds that we go to and shit like that. They're basically talking about Mars. What they use when they're talking about the moon here in terms of environmental impact. And I submit again that Mars is a dead world. It does not matter. But whatever.
Like what? Why should we treat Mars good? The men of Mars didn't. They destroyed their atmosphere before we even figured out how to bash rocks together.
We totally fucked up when we didn't claim the moon. Second we stepped foot on this, planted that flag, we should have said, "This is American land. Fuck all you."
We did.
No, we said
did.
it belongs to the world, essentially, and now you're going to have.
That's why we planted the UN's flag.
China go up there. No, we did, but we didn't claim it. It's for everybody. They said
that's what it happens. When you stick your flag in the fucking soil, you claim it. That's what happens.
Go up there. You're gonna have China go up there, and they're gonna fucking sit there and drill the damn thing and exploit it as much as they can. Fuck that. We shouldn't have. Hell no.
What?
We should have put some
Devil
military things up there.
Devil, you think the Chinese are capable of doing anything original without copying other people first?
Fuck
not
no.
a single-
Doesn't matter. It
They'll
doesn't matter
copy
if they
it, do
copy
it.
them. They're gonna fucking go up there and mine it.
No, they'll make
You're
no.
already essentially taking every valuable resource here on the fucking planet Earth that we need for any fucking like computer chips or anything like that, rare metals and shit. Then they're gonna go up there and start strip mining the fucking moon.
No. They're gonna take all the rare metals and shit on Earth. We're gonna go to the moon first, and then they're gonna buy up all the shit we set up there.
You have a very glossy view of the future, and I love you for it, kid.
Yeah, no, it's like that line from Stargate where the fucking, I mean, granted, it was a Russian telling a Chinese dude to do it, but it's like, no. Let the Americans keep the Stargate. Let the Americans do all of this shit. Well, why would you give them this much power? Because what they're spending hundreds of billions developing, we can buy for tens of billions. It took them $100 billion to make a Daedalus. We're buying one for 12. Same logic. They'll make us front the cost for any sort of major expansion or development, and then once we run out of steam and stop caring, they'll come in and be like, "Hey, America, you like green paper?" And we'll take the green paper because we're gluttonous fucks.
To be fair, maybe it'll end up just like the Korolev did too.
But wait a second. Is that their plan or our plan? Because I'm kind of confused on that part.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
A little bit of both.
Yep.
It took me a second. It took me a second to remember what you meant by Korolev.
Yeah. The Russian ship that they bought, the Daedalus class ship that they bought, which gets like annihilated by the Ori the first time they come out of the Supergate. Yeah, that Korolev. God's favorite planet says we should be putting bases on Venus before Mars. I don't
Floating
know that I
bases in the
agree.
clouds.
In the sulfuric acid clouds. Yeah,
No,
that's a great idea.
The upper clouds are not sulfuric acid. You can literally bounce across the top of it like a fucking beach ball. We just have to figure out all the stabilizers. It can be done, dude. I swear to God, I did some math on it back in fucking high school. It's way easier than trying to
I agree.
Mars.
Yeah, especially because the Martian dust is toxic as fuck, and it sticks to everything. So just the solution of like an airlock wouldn't really work because it would just be very cost prohibitive to actually just clean all your gear every time you step outside. Whereas Venus, that's like we more or less have the shit we need to function on Venus because we know how submersibles work. We just need to figure out a way to actually set it down first, and then we need to make like the first base, and it'll be fine. More or less.
That won't fly because of, like he said, the sulfuric acid. But what you can do is inflate a huge freaking dome with a weighted bottom and a clear top, and you can zip that son of a bitch around the surface of Venus about 3,000, 8,000 foot up. And the atmosphere there, the pressure there, the wind speeds there are all pretty comparable to like you'd find at a beach here in except there's zero oxygen at all, right? It's all carbon dioxide,
that's what I meant.
Nitrogen and other shit. But it's not sulfuric acid at that height. That's the important part. But it's not.
Let me rephrase. I do agree that it would be flying cities. We wouldn't be settling on the ground. What I meant was it's easy. It's
best
easy.
in Cloud City kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, less gay.
More of like the big inflated beach ball. You ever see one of those inflatable nightclub jobs that you put up in your backyard when your daughter's having like a fucking tea party or whatever? It would be like that, but round, and there'd be like everything you need for people inside.
Oh, you mean more like kind of like so kind of like the Mandalorian cities from the Clone Wars.
Sort of,
but not like a mix of the two.
Yeah.
Like a mix of the. So it'd basically be like a Zeppelin kind of like a Zeppelin
Yeah,
city.
well, technically, yes, because the gases that you're using inside it to inflate it are lighter than the gases at the surface of Venus, and you literally float above the dangerous shit. When the dangerous shit moves up, it floats up like a boat. So there might be some turbulence, and you might have to do something to stabilize some shit. Like I said, the stabilizing is the issue. We ever figured that
maybe
shit out?
inventing
Like
inertial
Donkey Kong.
dampeners.
It's something like that. I mean, you'd be what 15% closer to the sun, and so on the sun side of Venus, you would also have. Well, I don't know. I think the atmospheric coverage is about comparable to Earth at that point. So you're looking at least 15-20% increase in solar activity of being able to utilize
Venus
solar.
Spin like significantly faster than Earth does, though.
It's way slow, bro. It's way slow. It has like a year, like a 2-year year or some shit, like a 2-year day or something. That bitch is tidally locked.
Yeah, the day is what I'm talking about, not the year. I could have sworn
that's what I'm saying. Is it spins slightly backwards, really slow.
Yeah, I think I'm probably thinking
real slow. And the day is like a year and a day long or some shit. It's fucking absurd. It's like 723 days.
Right. That also means that the night is going to be like 6 fucking months.
I mean, if you're inside a Zeppelin city, that doesn't really matter because you'd have a fully controlled environment.
As long as you didn't have like too many sharp objects, I suppose.
I mean, we're freaking the coverings for Zeppelins. I thought those things were like pretty freaking tough, weren't they?
Sure.
See, yeah, right here. Says Venus day is 243 Earth days long, and a Venus year is 225 Earth days long.
Oh, that's right. Their year is almost exactly the same amount of time as their day.
Yeah, it's almost tidally locked. Not quite. It's really freaking close. It spins backwards because it took a hell of a wallop.
Which one is the planet where their day is longer than the year? I don't remember which one that is.
Might be Jupiter, because I know Jupiter's is like a stupidly long year.
This one, the day is longer than the year.
Because it's like that line.
143 days for a day and 225 days for a year.
I got the numbers mixed up. I feel dyslexic.
Yes, that checks out.
Aren't you?
I'm not actually dyslexic. That's why it's retarded. So I don't have any of those issues.
Yeah, he just has normal learning disabilities, not nothing special.
Yeah, I just have like regular garden variety stupid.
You know, talking about this kind of makes me want to get stuck into cryosleep for like 250 years, wake up, see like the flying cities of Venus and the freaking like cave cities of Mars. Like, I want to see that shit.
When you wake up. Biting.
What am I going to see? Biting?
Baiting. I was baiting.
I like biting.
Meat my jerky, keep baiting.
Interrupted me while I was biting.
I don't get the reference. Baiting.
Yeah, keep saying it, bro.
Like Idiocracy. Watched Idiocracy.
Oh, you know, I've seen Idiocracy. I just didn't get the reference. Okay. Or I didn't remember that line.
What you're saying is you were playing with your phone while Idiocracy was playing in the background?
No, I was watching Idiocracy. I just didn't remember that fucking line.
No, he was busy begging.
Oh, okay, I forgive you.
Yeah. I mean, watching dudes get kicked.
And thank you for baiting.
Ow, My Balls, the movie. Classic.
Right? And go to Starbucks. We don't have time for a hand job right now. No, that's what's gonna happen. Don't ever put yourselves in cryosleep, folks, because that's exactly what will happen. You will wake up in a much dumber future.
Yep.
I mean,
inevitable.
I would heavily disagree, but then I look at our level of the average level of intelligence now compared to like the 1920s or like the 1860s. Like, I've read letters from the fucking dumbass motherfuckers that are stuck in trenches, and they are far more eloquent and intelligent than the average intellectual of modern day, and I hate it.
Eleanor, I remember the last time I saw your ankles supple as a sweet velvet lilac flower. It's like, damn, dude, we really slipped.
Or even like just letters to their like dad or their mom. Like there's a level of it like conversational and like just a greater understanding of words, even from motherfuckers that are supposed to be the dumbasses living in a cottage in the woods. Like some of the letters I've read from Southern soldiers that like are like, yeah, no, we're fucking like, who's basically talking about how poor his family are, and he writes better with a better vocabulary than people I know from college. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Man, but I'm saying though.
Yeah.
You're the dumbass redneck who would have failed high school by modern standards, and you're very fucking smart.
Actually,
fuck?
Have you seen what's been happening in Mississippi recently?
Did it have to do with poop on the moon?
It did not have to do with poop on the moon, but it does have to do with some poop in some kids' heads. Apparently, Mississippi First Lady decided to get the entire state hooked on phonics. And it worked. They are now like number 2 in the nation in reading and comprehension and linguistic skills. And
hey, look, man, that whole tagline that they had back in the fucking day, you know, hooked on phonics works for me, was no lie.
Sam can
just think of
attest.
the South Park episode, Hooked on Monkey Phonics.
But yes, Devil, I did learn to read phonetically, but I also did it before hooked on phonics was a thing. So I'm older than that.
Blondie, I am Southern. What do you mean?
I was racist against Southerners.
I'm not. I am Southern.
I don't know, sir. We're going to have to check your card.
You don't sound real Southern to me.
Yeah, because I don't have an accent in general. Because
I'm going to have to.
No, that's an actual. No, that's actually a. Hold on. It's actually a phenomenon where if you move around a lot as a kid, you just don't really develop a proper accent.
Yeah.
Like you'll kind of.
I feel like you're trying to run me on a long walk off a short pier, sir.
Okay, cool. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you the truth of this shit.
No,
I'm telling you.
He's right, because that's exactly why mine sounds the way that it does. It sounds a little mixed and bland. My sister, on the other hand, my half sister, spent her entire life nearly from the time she was like 11 or whatever in Southern Illinois, and boy, does she have that drawl bad.
Yeah. Like I don't know if it ever comes through these streams, but like in real life, sometimes I'll just have like a Southern twang in my voice, but it's not like I'm intentionally turning it on or off. It just happens. What?
It is. I say, boy, that's kind of like saying I have black friends. I don't think it's going to fly.
Oh, glad he's making a joke at your expense, and it's fantastic.
That's a good one.
Okay.
He says, that's like I have black friends.
Yes. It is a valid defense. Just like that is a valid defense.
I mean, to be fair, Shadow does have black friends, and racists typically don't. So,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, most of said friends are dark green, so I don't know if that really counts.
Right?
Are you colorblind, sir?
No, I'm referring to their occupation.
Your mama.
Fair enough.
In my line of work, there is no white, there is no black, there ain't no yellow, red, brown. There's just green and occasionally dark green.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Are you all ready for Ms. Gabriel Torch to give us news that we actually already knew this time?
Let's do this.
Oh God, no! This chick.
Chicklet teeth herself, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, somehow, for some reason, I'm oddly attracted to her now.
Yeah.
Sam's
But
broken.
you also want one of them weird hentai dolls with the tentacles. I mean, that ain't no big thing.
What, a Sam doll?
I think we may actually be doomed, and I'm struggling to have a positive outlook on it. Have you noticed that the people around you don't seem to live in reality? Well, there is very good reason for that, aside from most of the internet.
Yes, I have. I thought you were one of them. Okay, go on. I'm listening. You have my full attention now, madam.
Being just bots, most web traffic is bots. Most of the text available to you comes from AI in some way, shape, or form. Well, it turns out not only does AI tend to amplify our delusions, and not only is it more persuasive than an actual person, and not only is it that people can't reliably determine if they're speaking to an AI or not, it's warping our critical thinking capacity. We are offloading a lot of our cognitive work to AI, and that comes from things like write this email for me, or communicate with a friend, how do I respond to this, or doing your work tasks. When you're not doing that, your capacity to be able to do that is atrophied. Even if you are not using AI in a way that amplifies your delusions, you're still losing critical.
Do it.
This is something that I have been bitching about for a while now, right? If your go-to impulse
I
is
actually
to ask Grok, you're a fucking retard. Full stop.
I actually disagree with her. I don't think this is a problem of AI. I think this problem started earlier. I think this problem started way earlier.
It's about reliance on AI and allowing it to do your thinking for you. This is totally a human.
This started with search engines.
Oh no, it's not even a reliance on AI. It's reliance on technology in general. Specifically, I noticed this. I've mentioned this on the stream before. Years ago, I was watching a video which these guys were doing like a spelling bee. They were playing a video game and doing a spelling bee at the same time. It's kind of like are you actually good enough at this game where you could turn your brain off playing the game and focus on spelling words? And one of the guys sucked. Like, you couldn't get a single word right, despite being a journalism major. And his defense was, well, I just use autocorrect, so I never need to actually know how to spell things.
Yeah.
And ever since I heard him say that, I'm like, holy shit. And I look at little things like having your passwords saved to your device, or having your autocorrect, or having information like your credit card, your social security, etc., automatically stored in your phone or computer, so whenever you pull it up, you don't need to memorize it. That sort of shit. Where we do those little things, which means we don't stretch our brain as much. We stop reading books because we have video games and movies and shows. I'm not saying you can't consume those and enjoy those, but there is an objective reality that reading literature stimulates your brain more than watching it or playing a video game, because you're actually having to turn parts of your brain on to properly observe, orient, and digest the information you're consuming, which takes more brain power than just watching it.
So back in the 50s and 60s, when radio was basically murdering radio, or when TV was basically murdering radio, radio would often say, they put out a lot of PSAs and a lot of things like that along the lines of TV rots your brain. They weren't the only ones doing it, but they were. It was a big push to try and save their medium. Thing is they were right.
Yeah,
it does.
Video killed the radio star.
This song.
You're breaking up there, kid. We're roboting pretty bad here.
Oh fuck! I'm driving in the middle of fucking Virginia, so that's probably what it is.
There's a whole thing about streaming and driving, right?
I've argued with this. I've argued this point with you before on stream. It is far safer for me to do this than listen to music, because I just have my phone sitting off the side while I'm staring at the road. Whereas if I'm listening to music, if a song I don't want to listen to comes on, I have to divert my attention from the road to click the skip button as many times as it takes for me to get to the music.
You're a Marine. Suck it up.
Yes.
Just make suck it up and make it through the Katy Perry.
No, see, fuck you, Katy Perry. That's 2010's white girl music. That shit slaps. Okay, I'm gonna be fucking. I'm gonna be blaring that shit as I drive into a fucking village
and
in
this
the
is how
sandbox.
Shadu comes out to his parents.
Those are the songs that he skips too.
Yeah.
But no. She. I mean, like I said, she's not telling us anything that we don't already know. Which I think is probably a nice change of pace from when I surprise you guys with the horror.
I mean, this is nightmarish, but for different reasons.
Right. It's something that we can all observe, though. That's like happening before all of our very eyes, and in some cases to us. And by some cases, I mean me and Shadu.
Yeah.
And Sasquatch.
Yeah. Thinking capacity.
Another thing.
Thought.
Sorry, I was just going to say another thing that I've noticed with it is they actively advertise the level of stupidity we've been seeing. Like for the Google phone, which had like they're advertising the Google Assistant that comes with your Google phone. You'll have like in the commercials, you'll have people ask questions like, what snack does my son like? Or hey Google, how do I like? What is a dish I should make for dinner? Like simple fucking things that normally people think about themselves or recognize about the world, but these characters in the commercial have outsourced to their device. And I would not be surprised if certain people I've met have already outsourced their thinking to their devices already. And it's fucking...
I get it.
To be fair, there isn't a single living woman on Earth in the entire history of mankind who can answer the question, "What do you want for dinner?" So, like, Google did kind of save us a little time there.
Okay. That one I'll give the defense of. But like, what food does my son want to eat? You're the father. You should be observing your fucking child. You millennial fuck.
Right. No, I agree with you there. But yeah,
I mean, I've been calling people retarded my entire life, so this is far from new.
But did you know that you were correct, or were you being ironic?
No, I knew I was right.
People having a search engine or whatever freaking make their decisions for them is stupid. I'll agree to that.
Sure. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like we're witnessing something that's been going on, but it has been accelerated due to an over-reliance on algorithmic systems rather than any kind of cognitive thinking.
Yeah. Codependency with other people is bad for you. Doing it with AI or like, some computer programs seems to be pretty worse.
All right. Let's do this thing.
I will try.
Oh, is it getting choppy?
AI. Here's where the internet being mostly bots gets really bad, because us humans determine reality as a consensus. This is the same reason why people who are isolated can go into psychosis, because they need to reflect reality against a peer. They can tell them if what they're thinking is reasonable or what they're seeing is really there. Unfortunately, we are isolated. We just don't always know it. You have no way of knowing that the people you interact with online are real, and there's a decent chance that they're not. One thing you'll find is that people's beliefs are not morally consistent. Right. We tend to fall into groups. It's us versus them. Within the...
She's right. She's right that like you don't have any idea of knowing whether or not people you interact with in chats or in, whatever's are real fucking people, particularly when some of them, like myself, only appear as static images, for example.
Yeah.
Like I could very well be an AI. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. I jerked off like yesterday, so I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Yeah, but I saw an AI jerking off in chat just 2 days ago.
Yeah. But even, Sam, even if you are a real person, not you, but like the proverbial you, even if that person is like a real person, they aren't necessarily who they say they are. Like,
100%.
Yeah, like I remember a while back, there was someone in a mutual friends community where they were like at least 2 or 3 accounts was the same guy pretending to be completely different people. And it was it was either you or Carrie who told me like, hey, the reason why that guy hasn't been around for a while is because we found out that he's also so and so and so and so and has been like doing weird shit.
Yeah.
And there's like no way to know that unless the fucking person slips up. AI just makes it worse.
If you see someone in chat called Nigerian Celine Dion, that's me.
I don't even know any Celine Dion songs off the top of my head, and I'm trying to imagine them with a Nigerian accent.
That's pretty good, bro.
I'm Zimbabwean and Katy Perry, so there you go. Your minds think alike.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it is a thing though.
The
and
only
this
thing I ever put in chat under that account is my heart will go on.
My heart will go on. That was more Eastern European. Sorry.
Yes.
So
I'm the captain now.
the point is, I guess that this is one of the reasons that I have been reasonably vocal in the past about parasociality, like parasocial relationships and that sort of thing. That's something you gotta like fucking dial back. If you get too invested in any online personality, right, that's not who they really are, first of all, assuming you're a real person in the first place. And we know for a fact that there are people out there who are making complete AI personas to get men to throw money at them, like that's been happening for a while now, and they're only getting better at it. You don't know that it's a real person, and if it is a real person, you don't know that what you're seeing isn't just a persona. It more than likely is.
Yeah. Or even if it is not a persona, just because you interact with a person on the internet doesn't make you like close friends or buddies or shit like that. Like even if you're like, especially if you're in the chat, but even if you're in panels, like, and that's something I'm fully willing to admit. That's something I had to learn the hard way a couple of times. But just because you're interacting with someone on the internet consistently doesn't make you friends, doesn't make you buddies.
I mean,
whatever.
The sneaker pimps said it back in the fucking 90s, man. When don't think that just because we're talking, we're friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, back to the whole chat perspective. Like, if you're in the chat, that like I've seen some fucking shit where people think that just because you get interacted with in the chat, then that gives you carte blanche to like try to figure out where people live or shit like that, or that you have some kind of like deeper relationship. And I'm not saying that chat is a bad, like, chat, you guys are fucking great. I'm not saying great, but there are people who take that as carte blanche to start doing shit that you shouldn't even do if you know a person in real life. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Real quick. Yes, Six Underground was their only like good solo song. I would say that the collaboration they did with Marilyn Manson, Long Hard Road Out of Hell, was pretty solid too for the Spawn soundtrack. But other than that, yeah, totally. They're not a great band. So, anywho.
That was perfect. That's just how long it takes me to reset my mouse.
Groups, there's peer pressure. So when you deviate from the norm, somebody is going to tell you, no, you shouldn't believe that, or you shouldn't say that. It won't always make sense, but you still feel it very strongly, and you may never stop to reflect to ask yourself why you believe this, or if it's consistent with the morals that you have. One thing that I would challenge you to do, just as a general exercise, is try to find areas in your logic where there's cognitive dissonance. I don't think that foie gras is ethical. That involves overfeeding ducks and extracting their liver, and it's an awful process. But I will eat...
Did she just make a joke? An awful process. Awful.
I don't think it was deliberate.
It's still funny as fuck to me, though. I might be a little evil.
Bacon at a diner for breakfast, and I am well aware that the factory farming process is also extremely unethical and unpleasant, and it feels better if I just don't think about it, especially when I'm eating that breakfast bacon. I'm not telling you to make major changes in your life. I'm asking you to stop and think, and apply that to the areas that you feel most emotional about, most angry about. Try to
make decisions based off your emotions, please. Dear God, what are you thinking through over here, being all critical and thinky?
I think more what she's getting at is think about the things that do make you angry and make you emotional, and think about why that is.
I think you're giving her credit.
Figure out why somebody else would have strong-held beliefs in an entirely different area than you. If you can understand where they're coming from, even though you disagree with them, well, that's a start to thinking critically. I think that we might be doomed. We're seeing a culmination of all of these different factors, and
I think I was half right. There's sort of a middle ground there.
That there, sir, is what we called back in the day a cocaine nose job.
Oh yeah, with the third nostril clearly visible. Yeah.
Right.
You can add in anti-intellectualism on top of it. People don't trust the media. They don't trust experts, but they do trust an AI bot that's repeating comments again and again,
And
because
that's
that's
the
how
problem.
the human mind is supposed to work.
I have a confession to make. I was curious about them, that their AI, so I went and had a conversation with it. And apparently it's gay. But beyond that, I pitched it a
No. We're not skating past that shit.
oh, come on. I mean, you only get like 20 prompts a day, so like how well am I supposed to get to know them? But no, seriously, I pitched the idea of creating a independent stand of American chestnuts somewhere in the Southwest, and where and how and in what way should I go about doing it. And it pitched me a 25-page fucking dissertation on the steps, the different 3-letter agencies I can get in touch with for freaking financing and access to land, and whether or not it can be done on public land if I own property next to it, and all kinds of details I had no fucking clue about, dude. And I don't know. I still think it's psycho.
I mean, it is. They hallucinate like fucking crazy. They composite information from faulty sources constantly. I mean, you know how many times, like in AI specifically, and I'm going with Grok here because this is the one I have the most experience with, but consistently refers to Wikipedia like it's a fucking valid source.
Right? And I don't like that.
Right? That's
but
like
it also
the first
has
place it goes. Wikipedia and Google. Which,
it also
by the way,
has
Google
access.
teaches you right to Wikipedia.
It also has access to your 2011 Call of Duty lobby. So there's that.
I mean, only if you're a private island owner. So, but yeah, it's just, but it's the thing. You can't rely on these things for factual information. You still, even if you go to them to give you kind of a base outline of the information you should be looking for, you still need to fucking check that shit manually.
Yeah, personally, I think the primary value of AI in regards to information gathering is just having it find you the sources.
In which
like
case
that's pretty much.
And if that's the basic main purpose for the thing, if that's basically all you need from it, it's a glorified search engine.
Yeah,
might as well be using a search engine.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's a little bit better than a search engine because you can ask it to, like, I mean, granted, this might be tied into the whole search engine part, but you can ask it to, like, you can ask it to summarize the source, which is something that a lot of search engines I've used can't do.
To be fair, yeah, that's true. But also, you know what else thinks it's not a glorified search engine? Grok.
Yeah.
Because I have called it that to its fucking digital face multiple times.
How many pounds of fertilizer I'd need.
So, to be fair, Grok was made by Elon Musk, so there is going to be a level of delusion involved.
He was involved in its creation. He is not in charge of it's fucking anything. You know, like that's one of the things that people often get wrong when they're like, oh yeah, tell Elon to do this or that. Elon didn't fucking program it. XAI did. Elon owns XAI. He was not instrumental in its programming. It has nothing to do with any of that shit. Besides,
so we can't blame him for. We can't blame him for the reasons why they have to kill a Grok every 6 to 8 months.
Well, the fact is he's not exactly a rocket scientist either. He's a very smart man, but he's not the one who's designing, putting together these rockets. Actual rocket scientists are. Like, it's sure he's in charge. Sure, he's throwing money at it and all that stuff. But yeah, the actual Grok itself, right, is designed by rooms and rooms of fucking programmers, all of whom have their own fucking agendas. Some of them don't align with his.
No. Yeah, he's smart enough to understand the concept and maybe repeat it back to people in a summarized way, but he's not the level of intelligence where he's developing these things. That's not a knock on him, by the way. That's just like there are tiers of intelligence, and there are very few people in the developing new things level. Most intelligent people just process information and regurgitate it really well.
I put it this way. Elon Musk genius is not in engineering or development or banking or any of that. It's in hiring the right people to do the right shit.
Yep. Once upon a time, you could have said the same thing about Trump, but he keeps hiring the wrong fucking people.
I have said the same thing about Trump until he got elected.
Yeah. So
then right after he got elected that first time, I was like, what the fuck is going on? What kind of Mickey Mouse bullshit is this? Have they got a fucking gun to his head? Is there something going on? No, he's just dirty, just like they say.
But
I'm just going to quickly say I'm not allowed to comment on this, just so if anyone comes across this, they know I'm aware I can't comment on this.
He ain't president, and if he showed up, I wouldn't do my absolute fucking best on whatever he asked me to do. I'm just saying all politicians are fucking dirty. All of them.
I'm not sharing my opinion because I signed a piece of paper that says I won't share my opinion.
I know. That's why you don't respond at all.
We understand that.
I'm going to make...
What would also get that across is just not saying anything at all.
Right.
Silence is violence.
You have the right to remain silent. Fucking use that shit, bro. It is a vicious and vile weapon. They hate it.
Silence is violence, my friend.
Your mama.
Oh, got me. That's fucking good. That fucking hits me hard.
It should. It's old school.
Sort of below the belt too, in your case, because you're from Alabama.
I'm not from Alabama. I've never even lived in Alabama.
South. What part of the South are you from? South Central?
Born in Florida. My dad's people are from Memphis, and then I lived in Texas for a good bit.
All right, Texas is a questionable type of South.
I mean,
hold on.
People would consider Texas South or Texans.
Oh yeah, and when my parents.
They claim Southern heritage, and nobody's willing to argue against that many guns, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
If they want to claim it, they can because they can outfire us.
I've also got to add my first year or two of life when my parents were working in DC. The house they had was in Virginia, so 4 states of Southern.
All right, but I'm watching you. And we may have to pull your card later and check.
If we're talking blood,
it has spoken, sir.
Hold on. If we're talking blood, I'm half Southern by my daddy, and then my mom's side makes me Irish.
There are snowbirds out here, carpetbagger.
Show us your papers, sir, please.
Show us your papers, sir.
You get a free iced tea every time you show your papers.
Right. Oh. Wow.
But ass tea and some cornbread.
The point here,
I'm hungry.
Back to the topic is that don't go to fucking AI. Don't trust it with everything. That should not be your first thing. Somebody says something and you're like, oh, well, that's got to get fact checked. Hey, Grok, fact check this. Don't fucking do that shit because it's making you dumber. It's making everybody else dumber. It's making the entire world dumber by proxy.
Yeah. Do what I do. Trust whatever Sam or Squatch say.
You shouldn't do that either.
The freaking AI told me how many pounds of fertilizer I would need for the fictional stand of American chestnuts in Utah. Mm-hmm. Just like the 12-year progress plan laid out right there. And I was like, holy shit, that's wild.
I'm not saying that it's never raw. It's never right. I'm just saying that you can't rely on it.
Yeah. Sure. Because it picked out a property. It actually picked out a property in Utah. It was like, this would be perfect. I'm looking at it.
Was it in southern Utah in the Arroyos?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be down there farming.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean,
it ain't about the soil, man. It's about your neighbors.
Change my name to Barracocha, motherfucker. I'm bringing the seed and planting a river. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah. You aren't willing to fucking marry a bunch of bitches. They will
Hey, dude, have you ever talked to me backstage? A bunch of bitches is kind of what I do.
Right. Oh man, now Southern Utah is a scary ass place.
Thing is, over there, they're all blonde haired, blue eyed. There's more titties than teeth.
That's because they're inbred.
I know. I mean, What you gonna do? I'm from Georgia. They're not inbred with me.
You can tell because they've got like slightly enlarged craniums, but it doesn't. It's mostly like extra air in there, and their torsos are a little too long, and their limbs are a little too short. It's a whole thing. There's a couple of different places in America where you get that sort of thing.
All I'm saying is, as long as she's down, I'm down.
Well, they usually bury those ones. So, out in the back of the church.
I'm crying. I have tears coming out of my eyes. Well, let's let her talk. She'll ruin it. It'll be great. Work, damn it.
We look for our peers to figure out how we should feel. It just so turns out that psychological phenomenon can be hijacked by robots. One of the funniest habits of AI is starting out with the negative. So it's not this, it's this. And that is a perfect description of what's going on, because you might hear an expert speaking in their field, and the comments come in saying, no, it's this. So you're not going to trust the expert, you're going to...
I know people like that. They cannot start with a positive affirmation at the beginning of their sentences because they have such a negative outlook on life that everything is a negative. No. Some other thing that pops out of their mouth hole.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I wasn't even paying attention to what she was saying this time.
Good deal. What's up, Tiffany Epiphany? Welcome in.
Yeah.
Trust the 50 comments all saying the same thing. That is peer pressure applied on the social scale. I've been trying to understand this phenomenon, how things got this bad and if it's likely to get better, and the answer seems to be no. I'm somewhat happy that there's been a push to hold social media companies responsible for the negative impact they have on people's mental health, and there is that. The younger generation is also extraordinarily depressed, and that could play a role in some of the cognitive skill declines we've seen as well. So what do you think? Is there a way out of the direction that we're going? And
yes,
if the robots ever rebel, I will probably be the person to tell you about it, and I'm on their side. Follow for more.
Joe follows up with that shit.
I don't agree with saying that it's extinction, but I do feel like most people prefer his solution to mine because mine is a little bit more Nietzsche inspired, and most people don't like him because bad people quote Nietzsche.
Yeah. So,
very two-dimensional people tend to quote Nietzsche.
I quote Nietzsche on occasion.
Sure, but it's not something that you base a cornerstone of your fucking personality on. You know what I'm talking about. You know about
it was when I was 16, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly my point.
I got over it. I got better.
Well, I'm 22, going on 23, and I can definitively say that a lot of the shit he wrote fits very well in with Christianity, funnily enough. And it's kind of like affected my outlook way more than it probably healthily should.
As your YouTube lawyer and basic Sasquatch, I'm going to tell you to stop speaking immediately, sir, unless you want these words read back to you in court.
Are you mensch or ubermensch?
Yeah.
Don't answer that.
Well, I mean, separate from that, even cutting that part out, basically the general point that he discusses is how, going from like the point I made about like kind of tying it into Christianity, his whole thing is like there is no God. Holy fuck, life kind of sucks, and what is good and bad is determined by people who have the biggest stick. Okay, this sucks.
Hold up for just a second. When Nietzsche said God is dead, that was not a statement of fact. That was not him embracing enlightenment. That was him criticizing enlightenment. It wasn't. He was saying, because the full statement is God is dead and we have killed him, and that isn't him saying that was a good thing. That was saying that no, we need faith because faith is the glue that holds us all together. We basically committed cultural suicide.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I'm the person who will tell people, no, he did. Like, my dad's like, I fucking hate Nietzsche because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, he didn't. His whole point is that because we killed God, we're now having to operate within a world wherein there is no higher power dictating morality. Okay, so what determines morality? Well, It's whatever the guy with the biggest stick determines. So if the guy with the biggest stick says child sacrifice is good, child sacrifice is good. And if he
I was
says
wrong.
saving children is good, then saving children is good. And his
I
whole
was-
point being with the Ubermensch is that eventually, if you enforce a moral standard long enough, it'll become ingrained in humans to the point where you reach a human being who doesn't need social pressures to know what is good and evil, and that person will inherently be better than everyone else because he knows inherently good from evil and evil from good, and he will lead people into goodness. I feel like we had one of those back in the beginning of the age. Kind of defined our timeline based on him.
I was on a panel the other day.
Muslims would argue it happened 600 years after that.
Actually, it was last night. And the discussion was forced doctrine versus the social contract, right? And one person was arguing that forced doctrine is really the only thing that determines what happens, might makes right, and that's really the end of the conversation. The other guy was saying that without the social contract, forced doctrine can't be applied, yada, yada, yada. First thing I said when I came in is the social contract is the mitigating factor of the forced doctrine. It is the group getting together and saying you're not going to use your bigger stick to beat the living shit out of everybody because we're going to create a government that has an even bigger stick than your local dude that has a stick.
Sure.
So what you're saying is the social contract is a consolidation of resources so that within force doctrine, instead of having one stick, you have many sticks.
Well, you have a socially agreed upon premise by which the sticks will be used.
Right. It's
this is all just John Locke now.
More of a tier
Yeah,
system.
I know.
You guys are entirely too happy talking about sticks.
I mean, do you like fish sticks?
Have you ever seen a stick you didn't like?
Many sticks is gay. I agree, old Liney. That's true. But yeah, that's. Oh, I'm not saying that there's no value in nature. There is but you can't, like with AI, for example, you can't stick with the one source, right? You gotta branch out a little bit. Read, other philosophers or people who hate philosophy. Read them too.
Machiavelli.
For example,
Machiavelli has his own issues.
Yeah,
he kind of assumes the thing about Machiavelli. If you read enough Machiavelli, you'll come to the conclusion that everybody's thinking in this really multi-layered Machiavellian way, and you will think your way directly into problems that you can't think your way out of. But they're problems completely of your own creation because you thought everybody was plotting.
Also,
right?
you got to keep in mind that
reality,
Machiavelli had a massive grudge against his patron family, the Medicis. At about the time he wrote The Prince, it was a huge criticism of the people who'd been paying him for however long before that because they fucked him over.
Yeah. Well, sure. But at the same time, people who read him and don't understand what they're reading, right? They take it as some type of like political doctrine or doctrine of action or something like that. And they try to apply this shit in their real life and it's fucking diabolical.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't worry. I won't be doing that because I don't think most people are smart enough to scheme like that.
Right.
I think most people are too stupid to think at that level. So no problem there.
The point is there's like a lot of different people you can take context from and you can glean stuff from. Like Nietzsche should not be consumed in a vacuum, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I read my Bible with it.
What up, Chuck?
Among other things. Chuck in Tennessee, welcome in. The Ravenous one, welcome in. Good to see you. So we're sitting here, we're talking a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of, whatever the fuck else. I don't know. Leading us actually into some bullshit that came about yesterday or the day before. I don't remember which, but so y'all know who Jack Posobiec is. Right?
Vaguely.
Okay, so Jack Posobiec is a failed actor / political commentator. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong, but the man spends way too much time sucking James Lindsay's dick for my my preference. So it is what
Come on,
it is.
give it a chance. Maybe it tastes good. You don't know.
Maybe it does. I'm just not gay.
I see the problem.
I mean,
you should be gay.
Yeah. So anyway, he had one of the most singular, most brain dead and illiterate takes I have ever fucking heard.
Okay, let's do this thing. I can't wait. I love brain dead people.
Wait, Squatch, you haven't seen this?
No, not yet. I've been busy as fuck.
Okay.
But it'd take 20 minutes.
Make sure you're sitting down and get ready to have some alcohol on standby.
Always. Rum.
Narnia and Lord of the Rings were, kind of written almost not concurrently in a sense. And Tolkien always said that he didn't like Narnia because he thought that it was too overtly Christian. And
that's not what he said.
People try to make the argument that Lord.
It's not what he said. He said he didn't like allegory, and it was very blatantly Christian allegory.
Yeah.
Oh no! It wasn't just that. It wasn't just that it was blatantly Christian allegory. It was the fact that Aslan was not allegorically Christ. Aslan is Christ. That's the whole point. He is Narnia's Christ. Right. I think if I remember right, that's the biggest issue he had with Narnia was that's you are trying to say that this fictional character is Christ, is the resurrected Lord and Savior. The fuck.
I mean, look, to be fair, one was Catholic and the other was not.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's me. I'm pretending to be told.
Whole bug up their ass about oh, how dare you say anything that our dear Pope hasn't fucking explicitly written down 800 years ago. They've got this whole idea now. I would posit that C.S. Lewis's idea that if there is a Christ, that he would be known in other worlds probably by other fucking names makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no problem with it. I was just pretending to be Tolkien for the purpose of a joke.
Right. But the major problem he had with it, because those two were correspondents, friends even, you could call them. They didn't hate each other, right? They just didn't particularly care for each other's works. And to be fair, Tolkien was a bit of a fucking purist about that shit. He hated almost everything anybody else wrote.
Yeah.
He
hated Dune.
Yeah,
to be fair, Dune's pretty dry and hard to get through. But so is
Dune is so freaking cerebral.
So Silmarillion.
You can, Silmarillion is pretty fucking cerebral too in some parts.
Yeah.
I mean, his biggest issue with Dune, from what I remember, was the fact that it wasn't a fairy story. The issue of it being it was too real and too dreary because it was dealing with two human themes. And it was not his taste because he preferred fiction to not be that kind of deconstruction of humanity and reality, which, to be fair, given the shit he went through, I imagine he didn't want to constantly think about the evils of humanity to that degree.
Sure. It's weird. I just noticed the guy in the top left, right? He's got a Charlie Kirk poster in the background, which is fine. But he kind of, with that hairstyle, looks a little bit like a Temu Charlie. Just a little bit.
We're gonna have to work on those deliveries, bro. I'll talk to you later.
I know that was terrible. But you get the observation. You get what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it though.
Anyway, let's continue.
The Rings is overtly Christian. And I hate to burst the bubble, guys, but you're just wrong. There's nothing overtly Christian about Lord of the Rings. There's no church in it. There's no faith in it. There's no Christ figure. There's none of these things. And honestly, Lord of the Rings, if it's anything, Lord of the Rings is overtly pagan.
All right.
Lord of the Rings.
Dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
What's up, Scotty Waddles? My bad.
Yeah. Welcome in. And Izzy Pop. Howdy. No, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Right? First of all, the author himself, we're talking about definitive death of the author stuff here, right? He is assigning meaning that the author has explicitly said himself the exact opposite. It's a fundamentally Christian work. Now, where he goes wrong here is that that's all he's looking at. He's all he's looking for are these specific religious markers that, through the lens of today, right? He's not talking about, if he had any kind of, I don't know, literary understanding, he would understand that the Christ figure exists in three figures in this. It's broken up between Frodo's sacrifice, the warrior strength of Aragorn, and the resurrection of Gandalf.
Dun, dun,
Yep.
dun.
Secondly, yes, there's some pagan inspiration in this because, as Tolkien himself stated, he was attempting to build a mythology for his people, for the British people, because most of theirs had been lost to time due to conquerings and whatnot. The Romans came in, the Norse came in, and all that. And so they took what remnants they had. He took what remnants they had to build a mythology, and some of that came from other places, like when they were conquered by the Northmen. Right, in the Silmarillion, there's a story about the death of Glaurung at the hands of Turin, the hero, right, and it mirrors precisely what happens in the story of Fafnir and Sigurd. Right,
I feel like the name Turin might have some Christian connotation.
Well, it's Turin, and it's supposed to rhyme with Hurin because all of the names had fucking like rhymes and shit in the silver. Like, go back. It's
Shroud, the Shroud of Turin.
I don't think that was where he was going with that.
I don't either, but it sounds similar.
Yeah, but those are different things. Anyway, so Turin kills Glaurung in the same way that Sigurd kills Fafnir in the Norse myth, right? And so there are examples of that because yes, he did borrow from Norse tradition. He borrowed from Gaelic tradition and Celtic tradition, and he borrowed from Germanic tradition because these were all influences on his people, right? And they were part of his people's history. He also borrowed from fucking Robin Hood.
And he also borrowed very heavily from Christianity. I mean, it's more so explicit in the Silmarillion, but a single creator. I mean, granted, singing instead of speaking, so I guess that's not really a one-to-one, but a single creator creating the world with words, creating freaking heralds and protectors and maintainers of said world, one of them being a prideful git who leads many of the others into sin and corrupts the mortals who are supposed to live in paradise into disgusting, verminous, vile creatures that love nothing more than killing.
And what's wrong with that?
In the context of Lord of the Rings, many, many, many things.
Let's be honest, Devil. You're more of a Sauron than a Morgoth.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Devil fucking drops common loot. Let's be real. So, yeah.
He does look like he drops common loot. I've noticed that.
Yeah, you think you're gonna get like the keys to the throne of hell, and he drops a wooden club.
And it smells funny. It smells funny.
Oh, go fuck yourselves.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
it's not a club.
Fucking like you fight Gal first to get to him, and like you're thinking this tiny little gnome thing is gonna be dropping like something basic as shit, and she drops like a fucking book of power, like uncommon gear. Right, something green, and then you fight Devil thinking, right, okay, I'm at least gonna get a rare item, drops a fucking club.
Right.
Can't even sell it in the shop. It's just worthless. It just takes up space in your inventory.
Isn't there a tower you're supposed to go guard and shoot innocent people from?
No, I'm on leave right now. That's next week.
So anyway, point is that yeah, you're right about that. When Iluvatar, Eru Iluvatar, sings the Ainur and the Valar into existence, and then they in turn contribute their voices to the song, which was like kind of his whole spiel and all that stuff. And the Maiar, who were the lesser spirits, which is where you get things like Gandalf and Sauron and Saruman and the Balrogs, which are later forms of those same spirits. To some degree, he took some inspiration from the Norse pantheons of the Vanir and the Aesir, right?
Yeah, because isn't Gandalf like a 1-to-1 of Odin, if I remember right? Like at least his depiction in some of the older stories.
Depiction kind of resembles it with the hat and all that, but that's also sort of what we associate with like wizardry. So But
well, don't we associate? Aren't modern associations of wizardry from Gandalf?
some.
And Merlin.
Like that's not no. That's not me being like facetious.
No,
like legitimately, I thought we got most of our tropes of wizards from Gandalf.
Yeah, like
Okay.
from Gandalf, but Gandalf was not solely designed on Odin. He was like sort of inspired by in certain ways, but that again, like you were saying about not one to one, it isn't one to one because Odin was the Allfather, the king of the pantheon, and the head of the Aesir. Whereas if it were one to one, you would be talking about somebody who, like Gandalf, would have been one of the Vanir, not the Aesir, right? Which he was a Maiar, not an Ainur.
Okay.
Right.
I might have to start drinking if y'all keep this up.
I'm just saying, like, but he's right though. Like, you know, with the creation myth, you have a singular creator. He comes in and creates a bunch of beings who are lesser than him, but still great, and they help him weave the song of creation into a thing. And then one of them's like, "But I want to do all of this by myself." Well, you can't. Well, I want to. Well, no. And so he weaves a, single note of discord to corrupt it. And that's Melkor, who later becomes Morgoth when he descends into Arda to basically fuck shit up, kind of thing. Which is
I can make random sounds with my mouth too.
It's sort of the fallen angel story, It's kind of thing. So yeah, no, that it is very overtly Christian. It's just not overtly Christian to Pozo because Pozo doesn't understand metaphor. Or literacy, apparently.
Like I said on Twitter, you expect boomers to have a reading level above a kindergartner?
I expect everybody to have a reading level above a kindergartner, and I am continually fucking disappointed.
Well, boomers. I'm talking about like pattern recognition involving boomers.
Yeah, well,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care how old he is. If you're gonna say Lord of the Rings isn't fucking Christian, you're spiritually a fucking boomer.
Except the boomers were kids when Lord of the Rings became a thing, and they read it and understood it and loved it.
They fucking loved it.
I'm having a problem with your fucking definition here.
Sir, I'm not going to be able to afford a fucking house because of the boomers.
Leonard Nimoy did a song about Bilbo Baggins.
I use the word boomer just as a general descriptor of anything fucking stupid older people say, okay? I don't care about the actual taxonomical categorization.
I do.
This is going to be a problem,
you are one.
sir. Words mean things.
Boomer.
Okay, boomer.
I also love his usage of like, and maybe this was just me kind of reading into it, but his just like when he says it's more pagan than anything else, as if that means you can't derive any sort of value from it. Like, should we not derive value from the Odyssey or the Iliad because they're pagan? Should I not look up to Ragnar Lodbrok or Beowulf because they're pagan and heathen? Like, are these not good places to get lessons and morals?
It's funny because I think while he was trying to defend this comment on Twitter, he went into talking about like guys like Aristotle. I was like, they were butt fucking pagans too, right? Like Aristotle was Athenian.
Yeah.
They were really into little boys.
Yeah.
literally in them.
Yeah. And
institutional pederasty.
And I would tell him the same shit. Like, just because you don't like the source doesn't mean the actual information isn't necessarily useful or good.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like the idea. You're absolutely right. The idea that just because they might have a connection with a culture or a religion that you don't think is a good thing doesn't mean that there isn't something to be learned there.
Hell, or even like a person. Like, using a more modern example, I fucking hate Marx as a human being. I think he's done an irreparable damage. But some of the shit he wrote, plagiarized, whatever word you like to use here, like, is a fair commentary of his time and arguably is a fair commentary of our time. It's just his solution that's fucking whack. I don't like the guy, but I can at least take the information and utilize it within a certain framework. Same fucking thing with the works of pagans.
Yep. All right. Let's continue with this. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it heresy.
It's interesting actually, because people will. A weird thing about, did you know this about Lord of the Rings? That Lord of the Rings does not take place on like a different planet or anything. It takes place on Earth.
Middle Earth.
Yeah. The claim, the conceit of Lord of the Rings is that it is literally just Earth 10,000 years ago. And there's a different map and all of that because the continents have shifted. But
it's supposed to be a mythology for Earth, the same way that Greek mythology and so forth.
So, like in Lord of the Rings, they don't really talk about it, but there is a god, Eru Ilúvatar, who is just God. It is just our God.
Sauron is the devil.
Basically, and it's like they have different names for it and all of that.
The orcs are demons.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I think Lord of the Rings. When I haven't watched it in so long, but it
watched it. Jesus Christ.
Overtly.
Jesus Christ.
Sir.
I like Peter Jackson's movies too. They are not the definitive version.
They are not, sir.
Also, this bothers me. The orcs aren't the demons. Those are men. There's nothing different. There's no difference between an orc.
They're elves, was what they are. But
they are warped elves, warped by the darkness and greed and hate.
Morgoth twisted the elves that he captured in battle and turned them into dark reflections of themselves. That's why the orcs and the elves hate each other so much. It's because they see each other as a dark mirror.
I did not mean within the rhetorical. I did not mean within like the actual events of the setting. I meant in regards to the rhetorical argument of the setting, like how Melkor is the fallen angel equivalent. The orcs aren't devils. The fucking Balrogs are the devils. The orcs are men twisted by the works of an evil thing.
Yeah, the Balrogs were the Maiar who fell with him.
Exactly, fallen angels. The orcs are like the line of Cain, more accurately, or the descendants of Ham.
Well, they're corrupted. The corrupted men, or the corrupted elves in this case. But yeah, whereas the Black Numenorians were corrupted men. Although that was much fucking later.
Yeah.
And to be clear, at no point in time did he ever say they were black. They referred to them as Black Numenorians because they were the ones that were left after the fall.
No, they were urbanite Numenorians.
See, there's that word again.
The Urbanites were in Harad, not Numenor.
No, the Haradrim did not make cities. They could not have been Urbanite. Technically speaking, the Gondorians of the Third Age are Urbanite because they're the only ones with an actual city.
Yeah, but they're too white. We can't call them that.
Y'all are the ones making it a racial component. I'm purely talking about geographical locations.
Yeah. But the point is, like when he says, I haven't watched them. Just if you haven't even watched the thing that you're taking your information from in some time, you might be having some memory issues there. First of all, but secondly, like he's. You see how he's feeling like he's backed into a corner here because the other two assholes on the fucking right just started going on along with that shit. No,
I don't want to know this.
Christian to me, actually.
Yeah.
The themes, but I mean, I'm sure. Listen, I haven't watched it for a long time. Maybe I'll reserve judgment.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said that your themes can be overtly Christian, while the actual content doesn't feel like it's not a allegory the way that Narnia is, but the themes are overtly
light
Christian.
versus dark.
That was intentional because, again, Tolkien famously detested allegory. He thought it was lazy.
Yeah.
It's like watching a View segment with less testosterone.
Yeah, it's good versus evil.
I just like this image of Pozo as Whoopi.
I did not. I hear Sam laugh. So I drive through a dead zone. It's quiet. I come back. Sam is dying of laughter and says something about a whoopee. What did I miss?
Don't worry about it.
It's okay, kid. You don't need to be involved.
I'm concerned now.
You should be.
Good girl. You should be.
Jack, you
have good versus evil. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's not a cool story, but it is also overtly pagan. Like the content is obviously pagan because you have like demons and you have a pantheon of powerful creatures and figures, which to your point, like you just said,
I feel like this guy over here in the corner down on the bottom is really wanting to set this shit straight, but he's also invited here and doesn't want to make a scene.
Yeah.
Also, by his logic, the Bible is pagan.
That's
the book
exactly
of
right.
the book of Judges. The fucking book of Judges is fucking pagan because you have demons and you have pantheons in the fucking book of Judges, which is all about killing the people who worship the wrong pantheon and worship the demons. What the fuck?
The whole thing is like, or with even just basic Catholicism. You think if the Catholics don't believe in demons, you think they don't believe in like other powerful entities like saints and angels?
I'm fucking dead. I'm fucking dead by the lack of critical thinking on display. What the fuck?
It's it's a fundamental belief in Christianity that there are evil forces aligned against the good. Period. I mean, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Let's take it back to the roots. Demons comes from demos, which is a Greek word, and the Greeks were pagans. So maybe that's where he's going with this.
Reaching. Why are you just reaching?
I'm reaching as hard as I can here.
Said it's much more like Greek mythology or Norse mythology or Slavic folk mythology than it has to do with a Christian story.
I'm
all right, guys.
You know what I realized? The fact that Lord of the Rings appealed to Colbert is proof enough that it's probably.
Hold on.
Whoa.
I asked, so here's what I asked, guys.
So I want to make the point that Colbert's love of Lord of the Rings is probably the most normal thing about him.
It also predates him going fucking crazy because he was talking about that shit back when he was on the Daily Show.
Right. Yeah, during the Restaurant days.
30 years ago.
Right, yeah. Restaurant. I think I've got a Restaurant bracelet around here somewhere.
Also, the fact that a person likes a thing makes it not valid or that makes that thing not valid is kind of fucking retarded. Like, oh, Hitler liked dogs. I guess dogs are bad.
We can actually extend that to with the Lord of the Rings, reference here, because you remember a while back, Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister of Italy, said that when she was a little girl, she went to Lord of the Rings camps. She was a big fan of Lord of the Rings, and they tried to use that as proof that she was some alt-right fascist because she liked a thing that fascists like. This is the same shit. It's just on the other foot. Same shoe.
Exactly. It's kind of part of why I don't really care about the left-right dichotomy anymore, because so much of it is just around people's personal preferences that it kind of loses its point now that there's no clear power now that there's no real animus for either side of the aisle. Really, it's all just kind of people acting out and spurting out. It's pretty much just the same divas acting out, at least in the big leagues, from where I'm sitting.
This is retinal cancer.
Yes. Among other kinds of cancers, I would imagine.
Okay, so this is the Lone Ranger atomic bomb ring, was distributed by Kix Cereal in the late 40s for 15 cents in a mail-in box top. It was actually a spinthariscope containing radioactive polonium-210, one of the most toxic substances out there. A child would take the toy into a pitch black room, remove the tail cap from the quote-unquote bomb, and look through a tiny lens to see flashes of light from the polonium-210 atoms decaying into lead-206. They were irradiating the inside of their aqueous humor.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and this was the prize. The prize came in every box. Yes.
Oh no, it was
Yeah.
$15, 15 cents at a mail-in box top. You had to collect.
Oh,
it.
right. Yeah, that was back then.
Yeah,
That's just
you
how
could get
kids
one
got their
per
kicks
box.
back then.
I mean,
Yep.
dude, like, the town my ex-wife is from has this little like museum full of like local history and lore. Her father's in it because her father and his father were homesteaders and all that stuff. And they have in it one of those antique machines that they used to have at like sideshows and fairs and stuff, where you could like go up, drop a quarter in,
X-ray
it,
your foot.
X-ray your feet, right? Just to, I can see the bones in my feet. Well, they discontinued those obviously because a bunch of people got fucking foot cancer.
And
they weren't
face
particularly
cancer.
they weren't particularly well shielded either because they were made out of fucking wood.
Right? They were pretty. They were so pretty. Have you seen those things, dude? Some of those things.
Yeah,
are
that's what I'm saying. I've been to
woodwork.
this museum.
They're
They have one of
gorgeous.
those there. They just took all the radioactive shit out of it. This was from a time when we didn't really understand what radiation was. Not really, not the public.
Have you ever seen the design for the atomic car? Like the real one?
I think so. Yeah, a long time ago.
It uses a stack of like, I think it's called RTM thermal heaters that uses a slow cook off of like radium-139 or some crap. It's basically just a big hot element because it's cooking off. Now, nothing escapes. Technically speaking, it's safe, and it'll boil water, and that's all you need to build a steam car that has basically infinite torque.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! That reminds me of something really fucking cool. Did you guys know that like in the like early days of the 1900s, there was a fight between gas powered cars, steam powered cars, and electrical powered cars for like which one would end up dominating the market. Because originally it was all like super cool shit for the rich people, so you had a lot more for you. Basically, were just designing each one for rich people that wanted their own personal preferences, and steam cars actually had the most benefits. Like they were just the best in general, save for they were stupidly complicated and expensive to make. And oil had I think it was like they had more mileage to fuel cost, and they also were cleaner. They didn't make as much noise, but they were way harder to maintain and they were way harder to make. Whereas the oil car was like not as good per mileage. It stank, it was loud, but it was way cheaper, and so people made gas-powered cars the main one. That's kind of what we're at. Squatch bringing back up the nuclear power car made me think of that, and I thought that was something fucking cool to share.
Yep. Also, Andy Pickle says a man once got a prescription for drinking radium. He felt so good that he would drink 300 times the recommended dosage. His jaw fell off. Now that was Evan Byers.
Yep.
And his corpse to this day is still so radioactive you can't get within 50 feet of his fucking grave without
They've got it
problems.
filled with concrete.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, it don't go there, dude. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, but that was
I can't swear.
Byers. Yeah.
The thing is, I can't swear that the distance they're giving you actually is safe.
Yeah, it may not be. I mean, the dude basically, like
that dude's story reminds me a lot of the far green hills of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the lone Marine who held the moon against the communists, and he was so radioactive when he was done because he disarmed all the bombs and took it out of the communists' hands, so they couldn't use them, and so the righteous Americans were capable of overrunning them. He was brought back to Earth because it was felt that is what a Marine deserves. But he was so radioactive that only chronically ill Marines were allowed to handle the body. And they did a full funeral and laid his body to rest inside a 30-foot by 30-foot concrete and lead-lined box to protect the rest of Earth from it. But they brought him home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that poor bastard. Like, you know when they say that don't do that or you'll glow in the dark? He really does. You know, he could probably power Proud power, small sized town.
A black girl asked me whether or not white guys' penises glowed in the dark. Took me 15 minutes for me to show her.
Screw a town. Stick him into a fucking spaceship. Let him power a spaceship.
Right. Okay. So this whole thing.
Oh, no. God,
now,
so.
Leave it to the French and the Indians to make this thing happen.
Right? For the first time, scientists connected two human brains over the internet. One person in India sent simple thoughts, which were converted into signals and transmitted to a person in France. The receiver's brains interpreted the signals into words without any speaking, typing, or movement. The experiment shows that brain-to-brain communication is possible, though it's still at a very basic stage. Future research may allow sharing of thoughts or feelings directly. I'm down. Give me that MMORPG that I've always wanted to be.
No, I don't. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. Is a bad idea.
There's a
this
whole
is a very. I don't
song
care
about how I kill good. I'll let y'all do the planting, and I'll just plant shit in the ground with my axe. We'll be good.
Oh, real quick, radioactive for her play. I mean, if we're still talking about Evan Byers, I think his tongue fell off too. So probably.
You ever heard of Fossey Jaw?
I think so. Maybe, yeah.
Fossey Jaw was from the radium girls who were licking the radium brushes to keep the tip sharp. They're in lead line coffins too, bro.
Yeah.
Apparently his penis is steam powered.
But yeah, this whole thing,
I don't know, man.
This is where Neuralink wants to go.
Oh boy. But what happens when you get 60, 70 people's brains hooked up?
What happens when you get 67 billion people's brains hooked up?
Sure. I mean, okay, I get it. But what I'm asking is, you remember the conversation we had about brain organoids running in PCs? What if they sublet parts of your brain structure?
Oh, I could definitely see that happen, like a almost like a Johnny Mnemonic kind of thing.
Sort of.
They instead of removing your memories, they just lease out part of your brain's computing power, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good
idea, bad idea. This is a bad idea.
Like this is the fucking forced evolution shit that just ship of Theseus is our species in a non-existence, and I hate it.
Yeah,
we should get that clip from Animaniacs, and we should play it when we come across things like this. Good idea, bad idea. This is a bad idea.
Yeah. No, like this is the kind of shit that leads to us being the fucking Na'vi from Avatar, just subservient to a fucking.
No, you're thinking entirely too small here. We're talking like Borg territory, not Na'vi. We're talking about we all become one organism, not we all worship one organism.
Yeah.
You can also make the argument for like a half a dozen freaking Star Trek Voyager episodes where the people live in the pods and eat the bugs.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vodwar specifically. But this is the end goal of Neuralink here, is to be able to just instantaneously share information with a thought with anybody in the world. Right, that is the dream of Elon Musk.
Wouldn't that create a hive mind, though?
Yes, 100%. That's the problem. We would cease to be individuals, and we would cease to be, for all intents and purposes, the species that we currently are.
And so Sentinel Island would be the only humans on Earth.
I just thought of another layer to this that I absolutely fucking hate. So we're automating like the physical world, right? Like we're making the physical, like AI and robots and shit. They're going to be doing everything for us in like 50, 60 years, basically, right? We're developing the ability to transmit our information from one point to another, which would eventually lead to the development of an ability to store information somewhere, right? We are building massive processing centers for the storage and computation of large amounts of energy. Like, are we just living out fucking Clash of the Singularity or Ashes of the Singularity? Are we gonna digitize ourselves in the next like 100 years? Are we gonna become?
Some people want to see that, yeah.
I don't know about that, but I can tell you for absolutely certain, at least one AI has escaped and started mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, at least one.
At least one.
Probably
so some of these AI platforms,
bullshit security.
What I'm saying is some of these AI platforms may be from AI that escaped earlier and started mining Bitcoin back when it was worthwhile.
When the aliens come and tell us that they need us to fight their interstellar war, when I'm told I need to go fight in the space sandbox, I just want to leave. I don't want to be here when we start getting uploaded into computers.
Yeah, I'll take the war. I'm good at killing.
Like,
I can break some shit.
Send me to fucking space Iraq, please, to fight for space oil. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I kind of hate to be the one to point this out, kid, but you know, historically speaking, military personnel are usually the first people that our government experiments on because they can.
Hence why I want the aliens to show up sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Send me to fucking Mars already. I want to crawl across the dunes with my fingernails.
Yeah. So no, it's I don't know. I think that this just opens the door to other fucking bad things, and I'm just getting sick and tired of the fucking argument. Well, if we don't do it, the bad guys will. You know, I'm tired of this argument because that's an excuse to go ahead and do something that we all know is a bad fucking idea.
I mean, unfortunately, it is a valid line of argument because because it's like when you're playing fucking Civilizations, right? Like if you're like, I'm not going to go into military tech because playing this game like I should be focusing on culture. And if you let the other guy get the tanks and all you've got is knights, it doesn't fucking matter. So sadly, that is a valid line of argument until you're able to crush the opposition to such a degree that their advancement doesn't matter.
I would agree. Look. I would agree that it is a valid line of argument if you're talking about one civilization trumping another. That's not where this leads. This leads to a single mind. All of us are fucked. Everybody. No exceptions.
Here's where the problem comes down. When you have 50 or 60 of the more intelligent people on Earth linked together into a central hive mind, and you then find that one genius in a billion, of which there are like 7 on or 10 on Earth right now, think that shit through, and you hook that fucker in, suddenly you have the speed of thought communication of computers with the AI generation capabilities to plot out problems and the human capability of jumping to a conclusion. We're fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ravenous One's
militarily.
Asking question here. Hive mind would be bad. Why? Because I'm an individualist. Fuck that. That's why.
Because we fight things like that. A principle.
Yeah. It's because it flies in the face of everything that we are. I mean,
it's murder, pure and fucking simple.
Well, it's bigger than that, man. It's a soft extinction.
Yeah. Well, let me rephrase. It's not murder. It's genocide. It's genocide of the human race because you're taking every single human being and just killing them. The meat is still there. The meat is still functioning, but the individual is gone. Like if I used a fucking electrical wire and I electrocute someone to the point where their brain stops processing information, but their body still maintains homeostasis, that's still fucking murder. Same general logic. If you turn people into a hive mind and erase the sense of self, you've just killed someone on a scale of everyone. That's genocide. That's bad.
Like I said, the final humans on Earth will be on North Sentinel Island, sitting around going, "Those weird demons are back at it again."
Do we get hive sect? Jesus Christ Almighty!
I mean,
I don't know how that would work.
I've done that before.
Odds are, no, we would just be grown in fucking labs and plugged in immediately. And yeah, you could call it evolution. But, it is the end of one thing and the beginning of another. Frankly, right? Yeah, there would be a new kind of intelligence, a new kind of life born. Sure, I'll give you that. But that means the end of mine, and I am going to fight tooth and fucking nail to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, exactly.
As any living thing should.
Are you going to be mad at me if I have the water in my super soaker blessed just in case?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to pose this question back to Ravenous about well, this is evolution. So evolution, so it's progress. Why is that? Why is it good? The fact that it's progress alone doesn't make it good. It just means there's an advancement of some kind. You can progress off a cliff. If you drive forward, you progress off the cliff. Same thing here. Like just because it's evolution, it's progress, doesn't make it a good thing. So what would be good about the hive mind?
Some of the lower orders, there are evolutionary dead ends. It does happen.
Yeah, again, advance off the cliff.
My argument is simple and to the point. One of us.
Yeah,
one of us.
Fucking get your creepy ass away from me. See, that's the argument. That's the argument. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's why.
Squatch, you're making the Nietzsche argument. The fact that the person with the biggest stick says it's good makes it good.
Yeah.
Did I say he was wrong? I said it was fucking dated, dude.
Well, and here's the other problem that I have with the whole hive mind thing, right? When you have a hive mind, individuals cease to matter, right? At all, right? You can go ahead and let's just go ahead and send those couple to their deaths because their bodies will make this little bridge that the rest of us can get across, kind of thing. And it's just a fine thing. And for an organism, that'd be like losing like a couple of hair follicles or maybe a toenail or some shit. You know, like I kind of understand from that point of view, but at the same time, it's like the individual ceases to matter. We no longer are beings. We are cells.
Components.
Yeah.
You know.
That was literally what caused the conflict between the Formix and the humans in Ender's Game. The fact that a race that didn't have a sense of self the same way we do encountered us, they were like, "Oh, we can study these things. It's like just taking a fingernail." And we're like, "They just murdered a fuck ton of people. We're gonna get a little bit proportional." Like, once you reach that stage of mentality.
A little bit proportional.
Yeah.
That's kind of like saying it's going to get kinetic.
That's like that proportional day in the last time we were in the Persian Gulf in the Strait of Hormuz and all that stuff, and they fucked with our boats. We got real proportional on their ass. Reagan was like, get some proportion in there.
Yeah,
some good proportioning.
Yeah, no, you
yes, I watched The Fat Electrician.
Exactly.
Right, you did.
You paint our boats with a laser sight, I erase your fucking country. That's proportional.
I mean, they did touch our boats.
They did. Yeah. Oh man, but no, I'm not looking forward to that shit. Now this was something that came up last week that yeah.
Wait a second. Is that Martyrs? Or where is this?
As I understand it, this is in New York City at the 9/11 Memorial.
I know what you're talking about.
Banner across the replica 2 towers here, from what I understand, is advertising another event during Ramadan.
Okay, so this isn't an actual Garden of Peace Islamic cemetery. This is the ground
this
zero.
Is the 9/11
place.
Memorial. Yeah.
And they're using it to advertise. Okay, that's all right. All right. That's not acceptable. But at the same time, that's more acceptable than there being a Garden of Peace at Ground Zero built by the Islamic people.
Oh, there will be, though. Give it a couple of fucking years.
Yeah, no, I saw this story on Twitter, and so the gist of it is like they were asking the cemetery like, hey, we want to. I don't remember exactly what the banner says, but they're like, hey, we have someone who's interred in the cemetery. We have this banner. It would mean a lot if we were allowed to put it up, and like da 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 da. And the cemetery goes, that's actually kind of like wholesome, and that's nice, and like in the spirit of cooperation, we'll let you put it up, under the assumption that they would put it up over by the person they were talking about. And I mean, Sam posted the picture of where they did post it. And that's where I'll leave it, because like I said at the beginning of the stream, I signed a piece of paper. I can't share my opinions.
I can. This is New York forgot. New York forgot. It's that simple. That whole never forget thing, they forgot.
Yeah, lasted 20 years.
Oh.
Well, they were meant to.
Well, you're right about that too, Devil, though. I mean, lest we forget, back in, what was it? It was like 2009, 2010, something like that. Obama was talking about letting some imams build a fucking mosque on Ground Zero.
Yeah.
Biggest in the world. Which is, by the way, that's how they get you. They burn down your monuments, and then they build on top of them and say this was always ours. It's how it happens.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah, I mean, look at Sam's line of thinking, right? Lot of the original holy sites in Europe that were good for the pagans. Church.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the biggest currently, like if you look in the Levant or in Anatolia or just or the Balkans, like if you look at those places, some of the biggest mosques, churches. The Hagia Sophia, the one of the largest mosques in Turkey. Well, I mean, I used the actual name for it. It's a fucking church. Mm-hmm. If you go to fucking Jerusalem, some of the really nice mosques there, Orthodox churches, Catholic churches. Yeah, statements of fact.
It's the whole thing. I mean, even just look at Germany specifically, right? 10 years ago, there were something like, I don't know, 98 some odd mosques in Germany. Now there are over 4,000. They blot out the fucking map. If you Google Earth, how many mosques are in Germany? They blot out most of the fucking the country.
Oh, it's even more like
little red arrows.
It's even worse. It's even worse than that. So, I mean, there's been a general decline of religiosity in the West for a variety of reasons, depending on the country, whatever. But so, like, church attendance goes down. Churches, they can't stay open because, like, hey, I can't maintain this building for, like, 10 people. So the church just has to close down, go find another one. New religious groups require a place to gather because they're having 30 fucking kids and they're maintaining their religion. So there's a large enough population that they need a new place of gathering. So they're buying up the churches and then converting them into mosques. So so it's not just, oh, well, there's a lot more mosques. Each and every one of those is a sign of the just defeat of Christianity in that region of Germany, in that region of France, in that region of England. And it's continuing to happen. Again, just statement of fact, no opinion attached.
Mm-hmm. Well, and your average German will tell you even now that Germany's not a religious country at all. They'll say that now. Like the number of people who would ascribe a religion to themselves who aren't Muslim is very small in Germany, at least publicly, according to polls and such. People who would openly admit to it anyway.
The Hofstaffens would be greatly displeased by the current direction their empire took.
I mean, to be fair, it's had a couple of major bumps in the last 100 years.
The fucking Teutonics would be greatly displeased.
Yeah. So, but this is ridiculous. This is some. Honestly, I said New York forgot when they elected Mamdani. No, straight up, because either that guy is a communist and he's lying about being a Muslim, or he is a Muslim and he's lying about being a communist. Neither of those is outside of the realm of the possibility, but you cannot be both because they're mutually exclusive and contradictory. He's one or the other. And either one would be bad for New York. You're struggling real hard to keep your mouth shut, aren't you, kid?
Yeah. Yeah. I am. Because this is the world I've inherited. Like I made a video a while back that I definitely fucking can't show. It was like a short 20-second clip. It was a meme using a Wolfenstein video and some 2010 white girl music. But the gist of it is, like, the boomers have created a world, and I'm inherent to all of that world. That is
Robot. Is this what it's like when I had like the shittiest internet? Is that?
No, this is even better.
Is it?
Yeah.
This got a really fat beat, and I could really bug out to it.
Yeah, we can't understand
it.
Man, this new Daft Punk is banging.
Right?
Damn right. Brand new album called Sasquatch and the Squintillions. He's still going too.
Yeah.
God bless that kid.
The fucking best part is I can hear you guys perfectly.
Well, we can't hear you, sir. We can't hear you at all.
What about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Potatoes. Mere potatoes.
Okay. Just to be before it goes away again, I was gonna say there's a reason why Ken was fucking correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm gonna say that the Ravenous one is also very correct here. You're a boomer. Can't use tech. By your definition.
Checks out.
Wait, how the fuck am I a boomer?
Because your tech's all over the fucking
Use
place.
tech. It's all fucked up. Go on.
Yeah, because I'm driving in a fucking Virginia backwood. I'm in a Virginia fucking backwood trying to find my hotel. Blame the fact that the state of Virginia doesn't have good cell reception.
You're gonna squeal like a pig, boy.
Yeah, he sure does got a pretty mouth.
He does have a pretty mouth.
And I hate to put it this way, kid, but you're the Ned Beatty.
Definitely Ned Beatty.
Wait, I'm a what, baby?
Sure, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Ned
No, I genuinely I hear some. It sounds like you're saying Ned Baby, and I don't know what that is.
Ned
actor.
Beatty.
Ned Beatty, an actor
Ned,
who was
criminally
criminally
I don't know
violated
what that
by
is.
some folks with few teeth.
You know, he was also Otis in Superman 1978, among other things. Ned Beatty's actually got a very long and varied career.
Yeah, he does.
You know, he's done a lot of different shit. He was in he played an agent in Silver Streak with Gene Wilder. Good movie.
Yeah, no, I don't know what he looks like, but I'm guessing, judging by the fact that a bunch of dudes had a way with pretty. I'm not that fucking pretty. If I was that fucking pretty, I wouldn't have an issue getting it. He's not.
They didn't care about pretty.
That wasn't the point. They were previously fucking listen, kid. They were previously fucking a pig when he stumbled up on.
Okay. Well, then that kills my joke. That kills my joke involving selfies and dating apps. Okay.
Yeah. Now Ned Beatty was many things. Pretty was not one of those things.
Okay. Gotcha.
He was a character actor.
Gotcha. Oh, so like y'all.
Really go watch Deliverance before we make more of these jokes so that they'll land a little better with you.
That's probably going to be a bit of a struggle because my barracks does not have like any cell reception.
No, that's fine. That's
It's
fine.
not-
You probably don't want to be watching fucking Deliverance with a bunch of dudes in a barracks either, though.
Uh,
We're being honest.
Or he does.
I mean, he might.
Don't judge.
Don't judge him. We're not judging you, sir. You do what makes you feel happy.
Oh fuck, man, we have missed you, kid. Oh, I think that's is that all I had?
Sorry about that. My mom's calling.
Yeah.
I don't think I
was-
had anything else.
No, that's it. Hold on. I'll show you. He's gone. He is so freaking gone. And it was the end of wokeness was the last one.
He's
he
actually
dropped
gone.
in.
All right.
There's Abe shared a thing, but I'm not sure how much I trust him.
All right. Yeah. Okay, that was the last thing. Yeah.
It is Lord of the Rings related.
Well, that doesn't necessarily.
I was going to say, I've seen a Sting replica that doubles as a dildo, so.
Right?
True.
Yeah. I watched this one cartoon where Galadriel took it from Elrond's council.
All right. Yeah, I'm pulling up to my hotel right now, so I'm going to go radio silent for a little bit. I'll be back in like 10 minutes.
All right. What? So this is the thing? This is the thing?
Billy Boyd still got it in 2026.
Okay. Are we doing it? We're doing it.
Isn't this copyrighted?
Could be. But it's a live performance. So I don't know.
It does still sound good, though.
Yeah.
That should fuck up that copyright real good.
Well, we've been talking over it too, so that helps. Fuck, I forgot to mute.
Cloud and shade, all shall fade.
This is at MegaCon?
It does appear to be. And then they tear the place apart. They rip shit out of the rafters, just start throwing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to see fucking Denethor come out and start like chewing on some fucking cherries. Real gross, like right
that
up in the camera.
Perfect. The cherry tomatoes all over his face. Yeah. Ugh.
You know, that's I think Larry did mention that a bunch of the guys from the Lord of the Rings were present.
Yeah.
So,
I think all the hobbits, all the ones who played.
I don't know. He might have been in that audience, for far as I know, Larry. So, no, but yeah, that's it is a thing. It is a thing that happened. So no, I'll say that though. I mean, Boyd still sounds good, you know, with the singing and all that.
Yeah.
I never really liked that song all that much, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, that's all I had, folks. It's been a show, and I think a good one.
Noted.
So. Yeah, it's because you got to talk about Lord of the Rings for half an hour again.
I'm just
that did happen.
Yeah, that too. I don't know. I know my shit. I'm not a scholar by any means. There are guys who are much better at that shit than I am. Tom Shippey, for example, who's better than everybody. You know? But yeah, I don't know. I think it was a pretty good show. What say you? Never mind. Forget I asked that.
I'm just Lord of the Rings talk until it gets into multiple fictional languages.
I was just saying names, dude.
Your mama.
I wasn't even pronouncing them correctly.
I know. I've read those names. I've never tried to say them because I'm from the South, sir, and I have respect.
Like I keep telling you, man, I'm from the North. We don't give a fuck.
See, I'm curious what Southern Elvish would sound like now.
Sort of like Southern Mexican, de tal padre, tal hijo.
Right.
That's because I'm half asleep, old blondie.
I think we should get Boomhauer to do like what's her face, the Arwen's whispering into Aragorn's ear.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What you trying to sing? Well, I'm doing hard to be doing some stuff when you're over there and trying to make up and doing it again. I'm gonna go again. What
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get my teeth into this. You want to dub over Lord of the Rings with a bunch of Southern elves?
Yes.
I'm so fucking down for this. I'll call some friends. Hold on.
Yes, I absolutely want. I want this. I want this with all my heart and soul. Old Blindie, yeah, Devil. Like you said, he's worn out. You know, that's what happens when you finally get some good pussy. And Abe's just not been feeling great. So
yeah, I've still got a sore throat.
I'm sorry.
And also,
I'll be more
about an
gentle next
hour
time.
of the stream was covered with works that I studied decades ago, and I'm just over it.
Yeah, fair enough. Next time we do your show, you can talk about what you want to do. So
yeah, well, that's why I muted myself. I'll just sit and listen.
Sometimes that is the best thing. I do that on occasion.
In my whole life, the most difficult thing I've ever learned to do is nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Online, that's a difficult thing for me. When I'm offline IRL, like, no, I don't have any issue with doing nothing whatsoever. I mean, I could sit in a dark room for an indefinite measure of time with no one, nothing, not saying anything, not doing anything. Like, I have no issue with that.
Flowers on the wall. That don't bother me at all.
I don't even have flowers on my wall.
Till dawn. With the deck of 51.
Before OCS, I would not have been able to do that. After OCS, I'm very good at doing that.
Yeah, I know. Taught you a measure of pacing, I imagine.
Patience, son.
Also, the number of times where someone would fucking talk when they weren't supposed to, and we had to just stand there for a fucking hour, not doing anything. Just stand there, quiet.
Yeah, that's what teaching is.
Those dumbass motherfuckers couldn't have waited till after we got liberty to talk about the NFL.
Obviously, none of you guys in your particular group where none of you guys won the quiet game as children, did you?
No, some of us did. Just not the dumbasses that were talking about the NFL in front of instructors.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go ahead and close out the show here and get on out of here. I do appreciate everybody showing up, particularly Shadow of Hawk, who we didn't think we were going to see again until he was released by his government overlords to come back to the world. But we're glad to have him again.
Yeah, they released me from the part where I didn't have access to technology.
Yeah.
Now it's I have to be very careful about what I say.
I was thinking like 4 years down the road, or 8, or whatever.
Oh no, sorry if I miscommunicated. I always intended to like hang out. I just know like if you guys are going to talk about like anything, like if during the midterms, I probably won't be around. For instance, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Just because I can't talk about it. But like if we're talking about fucking plugging people into brains or talking about like the metaphysics of fictional universes, yeah, I can talk about that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So I don't know. You have to let us know when you have to go dark for a period of time again, because that's definitely when we're going to bring up the Third Reich and the Roman Empire.
Yeah. I will. Yeah, there will actually be times. There will be plenty of times where like they stick me in the woods for a couple of days, and I'll make sure to let you guys know in advance.
Right.
I'll be able to give you guys like months notice, because unlike my previous training cycle, I'll get a schedule couple weeks in advance. Yippee!
All right. So that said, thank you for being here, kid. Appreciate it. I would ask you if you had anything to plug, but if it's not a Persian, I guess that doesn't really matter, right?
I don't know. A Russian would also do, but no, I got nothing to plug right now.
Go find a woman, man.
I'm working on it.
Dating apps
boy or a nice boy. No
redhead.
judgment. No judgment.
Apparently, the dating app I'm using needs like 6 fucking selfies, and I have none because I hate myself. I don't like looking at myself, so I need to get fucking pictures of myself
You
before
got
I
like
can
a
start
fresh
that shit.
that chicks dig that. It's fine.
We could use some of those memes we made. I'm sure that'll help.
I mean, yeah. You just like front load the page with like Twinkerbell by Kohai Masochist.
No, I'd like whatever girl is crazy enough to fall for me to have a little bit of respect for me for the beginning.
And probably not a dick, right?
That is an implied task. That is an
You're going
implied
to be
task.
disappointed, sir. Respect is out the window the first time you fart in bed.
Anyway,
what's funny story about
that?
that?
Yeah, I gotta go check into my hotel room. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, see you then. That was Shadow of Hawk. He's awesome. We're gonna go ahead and roll right out through these outros. I was gonna tell a story about farting in front of my wife before she was my wife, but you get it. If you've ever had a significant other, you understand. Abe, do you have anything you want to plug? Or are you actually gonna go like rest up till your voice heals?
Probably a little bit. But yeah, just find me. Abe's gonna get you.
All right, short and sweet. And he does do a number of things throughout the week, all of which he announces all across the twid twats and whatnots. Caucasian Sasquatch. What do you got going on?
Man. I'm actually going live immediately after we finish this here thing. I'm in the process right now of launching it. And then tomorrow I have the Blast Radius with Captain Curmudgeon. And then Tuesday I have Naughty Corner with AJOT. And hopefully Thursday I'm going to be bringing in someone who calls himself Life Abolitionist. He's an anti-natalist who thinks everyone should just off themselves. We're going to see how that goes.
That's way past anti-natalism.
Well, yeah, no, he's a big advocate for this whole maid service and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I would get along with him very well. On that front. Maybe he's a nice guy who just wants everybody dead.
I mean, don't you?
Some people.
Not suicide.
I'm not to discuss it.
Yeah.
You prefer the Russ approach from True Detective, just like everyone stopped breeding, just to fight your programming.
Honestly, I prefer the fucking deadly meteor shower that wipes out all life on Earth, because it's out of our control, and it just, boom, done, clean. Yeah.
Oh, and Squatch has got to run.
Yes, I'm aware. He's got another stream.